There are many books and documentaries on organised crime in New York City that tell you that Johnny Torrio and Al Capone got their start in the 5 Points gang before moving to Chicago. This book here begs to differ. Let's check it out. Welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like this sort of thing. Today we're going to be talking about this book, Manhattan Mafia Guide by Eric Ferrara. I've included a link below if you'd like to check it out for yourself later. The book was published in 2011 and focuses on Cosa Nostra activity solely on the island of Manhattan. The book is split into 3 parts. The first section is profiles of various mobsters, then moving on to the second section featuring a plethora of social clubs and mob hangouts, and then the final section is on various mob hits that happened in Manhattan over the years. Now, the book has the word guide in the title, but I assume the author Eric Ferrara didn't intend it to be used as an actual tour guide, which is exactly what I did when I dragged my wife around Manhattan on a mini mob tour. Look, that's where the Ravenite is. Oh look, sweetheart, that's where Joey Gallo got whacked. As you can imagine, it was all very romantic for her. So, let's look at section 1. There are around 55 detailed and well-researched profiles on various mafiosi. For each person, the author includes all of their Manhattan residences, their family affiliation, and then provides a detailed yet punchy account of their life and crimes. The obvious Manhattan residents are included, such as Joe Masseria, Charlie Luciano, and Emilio Della Croce, but also, and for me just as fascinating, characters like Matty Iannello, the Di Palermo brothers, Peter DeFeo, Little David Patillo, and Sante Zorge, who was one of the great unknowns of Cosa Nostra. In addition, there is information on characters who are definitely not known to mainstream audiences, such as Fiore Ciano, a young Genovese soldier whose stock was on the rise. Ciano had killed 2 targets that had been personally selected by 2 Cosa Nostra heavyweights, the first by Charlie Luciano and then the second by Vito Genovese. It was all going well until Ciano's uncle, Joe Valachi, became a nationally televised government informer, and then it said that after this, Ciano walked around Manhattan with a haunted look on his face. He was last seen being escorted by 3 men from Patsy's Pizzeria in May 1964 and then was never seen again. It's alleged that his bad blood was poisoning the family. The largest profile is reserved for Paul Kelly, born Paolo Vaccarelli, and the 5 Points gang. Granted, Paul Kelly was not a Cosa Nostra figure, however he was highly influential in the origins of organised crime in Manhattan. Ferrara dedicates 16 pages to this fascinating character, arguing the case that Paul Kelly had a separate organisation called the PKAs, the Paul Kelly Association, which was actually a rival to the 5 Pointers. In fact, he states that the 5 Point gang, ran by Jack Sirocco and Giovanni Del Salvio, ran Kelly out of the Lower East Side in 1905. All of this just provides food for thought against the usual documented narrative, as does the author's point that there is no documented evidence that Johnny Torrio was part of the 5 Point gang, until an article surfaced in 1923, but then again there was still no specifics. And as for Al Capone, it's thought that he got his start over the river in Brooklyn. Personally, I don't know enough about Paul Kelly and this time period to draw a conclusion, but the book does put forward some interesting ideas. And so we move on to the next section of the book, labelled Social Clubs and Hangouts, and it delivers exactly what you'd expect. 54 names and addresses of famous and lesser known mob locations throughout Manhattan, all accompanied by a paragraph which includes information on which mobs that actually owned them, who frequented them, and if any interesting event ever occurred there, such as at the Hawaiian Moonlighters Social Club, which was robbed by Thomas and Rosemary Hoover, the couple with a death wish in the early 90s. Bringing us to the final section, called Gangland Hits. Here we read about 30 mob hits, some successful, some unsuccessful, across Manhattan over the years. The obvious ones are included like Anastasia and Gallo, but then it also mentions the likes of John Giordano, who was shot in 1995 and paralysed from the waist down, as well as when Joe Masseria evaded a barrage of shots in 1922, and then earned the nickname the Man Who Could Dodge Bullets. And to wrap up the book is an appendix which features various interesting charts and maps. As the book is split up into sections with detailed but succinct paragraphs on people, locations and hits, it is perfect for quick referencing. As with most mob books, you might find some information that you disagree with, but on the whole it's a very detailed and well researched book. Check it out on the links below. Thanks for watching.